So to piggyback off that review, I had an idea, completely my idea, not some other podcast idea. We're gonna do a draft of um, our favorite heist movies. We're gonna do five each, and I thought it was fair since I gave you first pick on the last draft. I will take first pick on this draft.
I'm
Uh,
I'm curious. I'm curious to see where you go with
Yeah,
this.
no, you could go a lot of different routes with this.
Agreed.
We might have to have some conversations about like what's considered a heist movie and what's not. I think if a movie has a heist in it and it's kind of an important part of the movie, I think it's a heist movie. And there's
Agreed.
maybe not all these movies when you think of it right off the bat is a heist movie. Um,
Agreed.
but I think there's more than like you're thinking of. So I got my list up next to me.
This is a snake draft, correct?
Yeah, this is
All right.
snake draft, so I'll get first. And I think I would just be a complete idiot to not take this at one. I think it is probably the greatest heist movie of all time, and um, its sequels weren't necessarily as good. They were still a lot of fun, but not near as good as the first one, and that is Ocean's 11. Um, I
Good
think
pick.
that is, I think
Great
that is
pick.
honestly the greatest heist movie of all time. I actually rewatched it for the first time in like a long time, a couple months ago, and it still holds up. Such a good cast. You got George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and Matt Damon when they're all like kind of young. Julia Roberts, Bernie Mac.
Yep.
I think Jet Li's in that one. Just a great cast, man. And robbing a casino, like that's like the coolest thing ever. They're not robbing a bank or anything, they're robbing a freaking casino. Um, so yeah, I don't think anything's ever really going to top that. I'd be very, very shocked. I think it's a clear number one pick. Obviously, I feel like I might know what your first pick might be, but there was really only one of two ways I think you could go with the first pick here, and I think Ocean's 11 is definitely like an S tier heist movie. So um, yeah, shout out Ocean's 11. I think they're doing another one. I think they're making another one finally with a lot of the original cast. So we'll kind of have to see about that. I know they did the remake with the women, and it was all right, but it didn't
I,
have
I actually I actually like the one with like Rihanna,
Anne
Kate
Hathaway.
Blanchett,
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock. I like that one. Not as much as Ocean's 11, obviously. I still think it's good though. I'm not gonna have it on my list unless you like take all of mine. So, um,
Ocean's 11 with pick number one is absolute classic, and curious to see if they do a remake. We'll have to see.
You said it perfectly. It is a classic first pick. You cannot go wrong with that one. Iconic. And like you said, it is so cool robbing a casino. You know how
Yeah,
many times I've wanted to rob a casino? They
they
rob me
they rob us.
every time I walk in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, you said it. Well, actually, I don't know what you think I'm gonna go. I think you think that I'm gonna pick. I think this movie is so like it basically changed the whole like pacing of a franchise, really is what it did. I'm gonna go with Fast Five. I think that one,
You son of a bitch.
I think it is just so good, man. It's my favorite Fast movie. It is your favorite Fast movie, I think. Is that correct?
I'm upset. I didn't think you were actually going to
What do
take
you
that
think I was gonna
early.
go? Well, then you might.
I'm not going to tell you until I take my next pick. So,
I actually have an unorthodox one for the next one. I was gonna do
no.
it first, but yeah,
But Fast
Fast
Five,
Five.
yeah, no, dude, it's the best Fast and Furious movies. I was hoping that would drop down to me for my second pick. Um,
We
like you
talk
said, yeah,
we
it
talk about
it,
it all
it
the
kind of
time.
kickstarts, it re-kickstarts the franchise.
Really does. You can only do so many racing movies with the same people, so why not do a big heist and add The Rock to your franchise? It is a ton of fun. I mean, I think it is some of the best, like not only effects, but like the stuff they do in the cars is some of the coolest. They're literally dragging a gigantic safe across a bridge, and it's
Through
just
Rio,
beautiful looking, and it is so cool. I mean, dude, how can I not pick it? It is very, very cool. And like I said, like it redefined Fast and Furious. Like you look at the first four, right? And it's mostly just like racing. It's a lot of racing. It's family, right? Now you're really in the family because now you're just robbing people. And now you're going to outer space in cars. You're blowing up tanks. Like you're leaving a cliffhanger on the 10th movie in the franchise. Like it's just It never ends with this franchise. But five was actually good. I think it is the best one personally.
No,
But yeah,
100%.
the
Great,
next
great pick.
one, because we're doing a snake, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm I was actually not gonna pick this here, but like I do think about this movie a lot. And do we count it as a heist movie? I guess. This has one of the coolest soundtracks I've ever heard. Um Are you serious? There's no way. This is one of the coolest soundtracks I've ever heard. It is a great premise, and the cast is unbelievable. And how cool is it to watch your heist driver put his headphones in and become the best driver in the world? It is Baby Driver.
Oh, that is not what I was thinking there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you count this as a heist movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Uh,
haven't seen it in a long time, but yes.
the soundtrack is incredible. Angela Elgort, Kevin Spacey, John Bernthal's in it. Lily James, I think, is in it as well. This is a stat cast. It is a fun concept because he's there to do one thing, and it's drive.
Yeah.
And they're all going through their names. What's your name, baby? Like, it's just come on, man. Like, it is a fun movie too. I think the driving is like it's not Fast and Furious level or anything, but it is like more street and like we were talking about the after effects in Den of Thieves 2 of how real that like driving seemed. Yeah, man, I love Baby Driver. I think it's very fun. I actually have not seen it like a lot of times. I think I've seen it two or three times. And
Uh,
again, like just a good like it's not all about a heist because I think there's multiple in the movie. But yeah, he's awesome. And the soundtrack's awesome. So
yeah. No, great pick. That's really has a great soundtrack. So for my next pick, well, no, not this pick. I'm gonna go back. But so this is the pick I thought you were gonna like clear go number one,
okay,
for your first pick. And I think it is like Ocean's 11 one, and this movie's too. So I'm kind of wild it dropped to me, but I think that's Heat.
yeah,
Heat
yeah. So
with De Niro and Pacino. That's like the first like big heist movie. I mean, I can really think of. I think it came out in like the 80s or 90s when they
fun
were still kind of
fact:
they were still kind of young. What's
I've
up?
seen that movie one time. That's
I
it.
watched it. I watched it for the first time about a year or two ago.
Now it was probably about I think I was just got to college, so yeah, when
Maybe.
I watch it.
But yeah, I think if you don't have Heat, you don't have a lot of these other movies. And like I said, um, with our movie review of Den of Thieves, like I very much get Heat vibes from this. It's very much, the main cop against the main robber,
Mhm.
um, awesome shootouts and stuff, but you still got a cool heist in there. What year did Heat come out? I'm kind of curious. Let's see. And they actually are making a sequel, I think, with Adam Driver. Same director,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, it's rumored anyways. Adam
Interesting.
Driver, a couple other people. Oh yeah, it has Val Kilmer as well. Yep, that's correct. Came out in '95. So yeah, love Heat. I don't think a lot of awesome heist movies would exist without it. So I think you have to take it early here. Yeah, I kind of want to rewatch it. It's been a couple years since I watched it, but I remember absolutely loving it when I did. Um, so yeah, for my next pick, this is what I thought you were going to say when you said soundtrack, but I was kind of incorrect in thinking that because I'm thinking more of a score,
Okay.
not a soundtrack. This is one of my favorite scores for a movie. And you might not, a lot of people might not think of this as a heist movie when they think of it, but there is a heist in the movie. It's just a different kind of heist, and that is Inception.
It's a good pick.
That is
Not even
Inception.
gonna argue.
Um,
You took my next pick, so
yeah, yeah. Inception, it is not your typical heist. It is a mind heist. It is Christopher Nolan just jumping deep into his bag and coming up with one of the coolest concepts that you could come up with. And it's not a heist in the fact, and like they're not taking anything.
mhm.
They're trying to put something
Right,
somewhere. They're
right.
trying to put this thought into this guy's head, Cillian Murphy's head. Not to mention an unbelievable cast.
Hmm.
unbelievable score. It's kind of crazy. Like the fifth build move person in that movie is like freaking Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
Like you got
yeah,
so many good people. Um, I actually haven't seen it in a couple years, but every time I watch it, I remember like how much I love it. I think it kind of gets forgotten a lot for some reason when you talk about Nolan movies. Everyone always thinks Interstellar, Dark Knight, and then more recently Oppenheimer. And I think Inception is probably a top three of his. Absolutely love it. Then, like I said, absolutely unbelievable score by Hans Zimmer. Um, the blah, uh,
I
but yeah,
mean,
no, I absolutely love Inception. It's not, like I said, it's not necessarily like a heist. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't think it is, but
right.
when you kind of like break it down, like that's essentially what it is.
You're
They
right.
get a team together, they all have different skill sets, and yeah, it's just a heist in the mind instead of like a heist of a bank. So yeah, had to go Inception.
That's a pretty good pick. That was gonna be my next one because I thought you were gonna go Heat and then go somewhere else. I, I think you're saving the ones that I think you're gonna pick for last because you know I won't pick them. Which is a smart play. It's a smart play. So this one, I'm actually curious to see your thoughts on this. So I'm gonna do it early just to see what you think. There is a movie that I think is one of my favorites in like a universe. And it's not a lot of people when you think of the universe are not going to pick this movie to be like their favorite, right? Now, if you think about the concept of the movie and how it plays in, they are doing one thing. They are trying to steal plans for a certain death machine to send to a rebellion. And Rogue One is absolutely a heist movie. It has a just fantastic story. You have one of the coolest characters that we now have a TV show for. We have one of the coolest Star Wars fight scenes at the end of this movie. And you cannot tell me at the end of this movie when Darth Vader shows up that you didn't jump out of your seat. You'd be lying if you said that. I think Rogue One is a heist movie. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I mean, yeah. Uh yeah, I guess it is. I had no idea where you were going with that. I mean, but yeah, it is essentially, they're trying to get the plans. And yeah, I mean, even though you already know like what's gonna happen because of, the original movies, like it's still a lot of fun. I definitely would not think heist movie there, but like when I think about it now, yeah, it definitely kind of is.
I
Wild
wanted
pick. I did not really see you going that way, but yeah, the Rogue One is insanely slept on. I love that movie.
Yeah, so I wanted to just see your take on it because I do think like when you think about the movie and like what the concept is like they're going to a planet and there's one thing that they're trying to get there and they're trying to give it to somebody else. They're trying to steal it, and I think it is a heist movie at its core. Now, you could definitely argue because it's a Star Wars movie and we know what's going to happen, like how, but like at the end of the day, they did steal something from somebody, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, no, good pick. That is definitely not something that I saw coming from you. But yeah, no, that's a good pick.
Now this one you might not agree with like the pick here, and you might not even like the movie. This is kind of a home hit movie for me. The amount of times that me and my dad have watched this movie, we talked about it already. The acting is not even good. It is just a lot of fun. It's got Keanu Reeves. It's got Swayze. I love the Point Break. I really do. I think the acting is comically like bad at some points, but it actually is an enjoyable movie. The whole uh they're robbing the banks with the president's mask, which is like an iconic thing in movies, and it is just I just think it's a fun concept because he is the cop who's trying to get in with them and he's got to do all this crazy stuff. And the final scene where he's throwing him out of the helicopter, he's got to jump. And I just think it's a really good movie. And Patrick Swayze's character is not going down without a fight. It's almost like Den of Thieves, like at the end, like he's not getting arrested. he's going to die if he like he'd rather die than get caught. I guess you know what I'm trying to say. I think it's a fun movie. Me and my dad love this movie. We have seen it a billion times, and we laugh at it. We enjoy it, and I think it is a classic movie. People might not even think it's a good movie. I think it's a fun movie, and I love Point Break.
No, good pick. I haven't seen Point Break in ages. Like I haven't even seen it since the remake came out, and the remake came out when we were in like middle school or high school. I
Dude,
haven't
I
seen
didn't
a
even
movie
know
since I was definitely younger.
I didn't even know there was a reboot because I watched the original. That's
Yeah.
like,
No, the original is great. You said you watch it a ton. I haven't even really watched it that many times, maybe like twice ever. But yeah, no, great movie. Definitely a heist movie. Kind of when Keanu and Swayze were like, the dudes. They were coming up. They were young
right,
still. So yeah, no, classic movie. Yeah, it might be a little silly, but it's a lot of fun. And I feel like a lot of heist movies are silly. Like
yeah,
you can't take them too seriously.
yep,
So. Yeah, good pick. I've been sitting here racking my brain and trying to figure out what I want to do.
yeah.
Uh,
Because you have your final two right now.
Final two, yeah, I'm picking
Okay,
my final two right here, and I'll probably we can talk about some honorable mentions too. But
yeah.
um, now this is one that I thought about today that I'm curious to see if you think it is considered a heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Came out a while ago. I know you've probably seen it a million times. I've seen it a million times. I actually rewatched it over Christmas break because it was on TV. Um, Not necessarily a heist movie, but its most famous scene in the movie is a heist
I
where
think
they steal the Declaration of Independence. I'm gonna go with National Treasure.
that
Uh,
is an Alice didn't even think about it.
yeah,
That's
no, I didn't
outstanding.
think about it till earlier. Um, Yeah, National Treasure. Not necessarily. It's probably when you think of it, it's more of like an action adventure movie, but it is like undoubtedly that part of the movie is a heist movie, and that's the most famous scene in the movie. That's the scene
Absolutely.
that always gets quoted, the one that people talk about.
Yep.
Um, yeah, give me Nick Cage and National Treasure still in the Declaration of Independence.
I don't
Absolutely love
care.
that movie. Like I said, I rewatched it, and I watched both of them actually, the first one and the second one over Christmas break, and I really freaking want them to make another. I know it's been in the talks and it's been confirmed and then denied and confirmed and denied. And Nick Cage was coming back, and then they said he wasn't, and then he said he was. I need them to just freaking make a third one because the second one kind of ends on a cliffhanger. We still don't
Yep.
know. It's been a long time, but yeah, no, National Treasure I think is unique, but you would you consider that to be fair in this list?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, I don't think the critics love that movie, but that's where we talk about where that movie is so fun. I don't care. And me and you love history, so like seeing them like have to go to these different places. Nicolas Cage is like so so fun in that movie. I love National Treasure. I still watch it. I'm not as big on the second one. I do love the first one though.
Yeah, I think they're both great. The first one's definitely better, but I mean they're both good movies. But yeah, yeah, I'm very happy with that pick. And now here I am closing out my list. So
Right.
man, there's a lot of good ones here. I feel like this might be cheating.
Oh, great.
No, it's not cheating. This is just me using my big brain. This is probably another one you didn't think of. Clearly, not a heist movie when you think about it, but I think a subgenre of this movie is a heist movie. And it's not a heist. It's not a normal heist. They don't steal from a bank. They don't steal diamonds. They steal infinity stones.
I don't know if I'm
Avengers
allowed in this one.
Avengers Endgame is a heist movie. It is a time heist, okay? It's not your typical heist. They
Shit,
have a
it says
team.
it in the movie. You're right.
They literally do. Yeah. I mean, that's the
You're right.
whole
Paul Rudd
middle
says
part
it.
of the movie. the movie doesn't happen without the time heist. Um, yeah, you're getting the team back together. You're making a plan. That's what you do in a heist movie. You get everybody together, you make a plan, and then you go do it. And they all went and did it. They all went and did their respective, like, getting their stones. And while it's not necessarily like, juking out cameras and sensors and things like that, they're dealing with other stuff. But I think it's kind of a loophole where you can consider it a heist movie. Um, yeah. What do you think about that? Is that fair? I feel like, if you went Rogue One, like, I feel like I can go in game here. It's a sick, like, the heist is sick. Like, the time heist is so cool. They go back to all the scenes in the past movies and stuff, and they're trying to get all the Infinity Stones and then get back. And
Look,
not everybody makes it back.
I'll
So,
let you have it just because he says it's a time heist in the movie. That's fair.
okay.
I mean, what am I supposed to say about that?
All right. Thank you. Thank you for letting me have that.
So I'll let you
I
have it.
knew that I knew that would be controversial, but it's a
That's a
time
good
heist.
pick though.
So I went so three. I feel like three of mine you wouldn't necessarily think, heist when you think of it. Inception, National Treasure, and Endgame, but they all have heists that are huge parts of the movie, which I
Yeah.
think kind of classifies a movie as a heist movie. So yeah, so that is my list. I'm curious to see what your last pick's gonna be. You can go a lot of different ways here.
Yeah, I thought of two like right off the bat. Um I did a homer pick with Point Break, I feel like. But I really do I'm just gonna do it because I do like the movie and I like the concept. I love the cast. And I'm gonna go with man. Hold on. I gotta make sure I want this to be my pick. I think I want it to be my pick. I
I
do
think I
like
know
it.
where you're going.
Huh?
I think I know where you're going.
I don't think you do.
All right, go.
But look, they steal from banks, and every time they do a show, they're stealing from big banks. And when you have Jesse Eisenberg and you have Woody Harrelson, you have Mark Ruffalo, I think Now You See Me is a great heist movie.
No, that's what I thought you were gonna go. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Had I
perfect.
not taken Endgame, that was gonna be my pick.
I like the magic aspect. I actually don't like the second one, personally. I like the first one, and I just think it's very cool how they incorporate the magic, like the close up magic, and just like regular people, like, oh, they're doing all these magic shows, but we're actually stealing from the banks that, but like some parts of the movie, they're giving it back to the people, right?
Yeah,
So,
they're not
um,
using it themselves.
yeah, and I think they do a good job of like showing the background and then like showing like how they can mess it up and then finding out who's actually a part of
Yeah,
the
no, that's a wild twist back like
yeah,
when that movie first came out and that's revealed at the end of the first one that it was like Ruffalo all along,
yeah.
like wild twist the first time you see it.
So I think it's a fun movie and I will definitely I think I don't love the second one. I'm not gonna say I hate it. I do watch the second one. I just do really have like for the first one, the first movie that's coming out and the way they did it, very, very cool. And I think they're coming out with a third one.
Yes, they are. It comes out this year.
So
I actually have my list right here. When does that come out? November
yeah.
14th. Nice to meet
So I will definitely be going to see that because
Yeah,
I
I'm
love the first
excited.
one. And
I agree. I agree with you. The second one is definitely a step down. I will say I think the second one might have like the coolest scene out of both movies though. When that scene where they're tossing the card,
yeah, and the
everywhere
bottom,
around.
like the ball
Yeah,
area, yeah,
I love that scene where
cool scene.
they keep juking out the card. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's definitely a step down. But I'm excited for a third one if they're bringing back like the whole original cast. So yeah, no, great pick. That's if had I not taken Endgame, that would have been my next pick.
Yeah,
But I had to go a little controversial here. So
I like it. I took one controversial. You took one controversial.
yeah.
Fair.
All right. Well, I think that is a pretty fair draft. I kind of wanted to just talk about just briefly some honorable mentions that didn't make it that I had on my list, and
Hold
then you.
on. Can I stop you? Can I stop you for a second? I You didn't pick one Mission Impossible movie,
That was on my honorable mentions.
but you love those.
I do.
Huh.
I do. So yeah. That's my one of my first honorable mentions is the first Mission Impossible. They're not all necessarily heist movies. I think you could also you haven't seen it because you're a loser, but I think Rogue Nation is kind of a heist movie. Like they have a freaking awesome heist, and it's the one where he's like underwater. Um, very very intense. But the first one is like one of the most famous scenes in the history of movies. Um, when he's hanging from the ceiling in that room, that white room, trying to, I can't even remember what he was like trying to get, like a flash drive or something, download some stuff. But, then his string drops and he gets right there and then the sweat's dripping and, you know, Mission Impossible 1 is 100% a heist movie. I wouldn't necessarily say a lot of the other ones are. There are some heists in them, but yeah,
Yeah,
the first one for sure. Um, reason I didn't take it is because I like a lot of the newer Mission Impossibles better than the first one,
fair.
but still a great movie. Love it. Another one that I'm surprised kind of didn't get taken was Logan Lucky. More of a comedy heist
Mm.
movie, but great cast. You got Channing Tatum, Daniel Craig, Adam Driver with one arm. Really funny movie. Actually, they just put it back on Netflix not too long ago. I kind of want to go rewatch it, but love Logan Lucky. Obviously, we reviewed Den of Thieves. Both of those are pretty solid heists. And then the last one that I did not pick was Gone in 60 Seconds with Nick Cage.
Okay.
That's a car heist movie. So
Hey, you got your Nicolas Cage in though.
yeah, no, I got my Nick Cage in. So yeah,
One
did you have any?
one that I thought of off the bat is an absolutely stupid movie. It's not even like it's so dumb, but it makes me cry laughing when they're taking the freaking pictures on the swing. It's freaking Galifianakis and what's her name and
Masterminds.
Masterminds. Oh, it's so
Such a
funny.
funny movie,
It's
bro.
so stupid, but it is so funny.
And that's
Um,
a true story too.
yeah. Um, they do Loomis Fargo, right? They robbed the Loomis Fargo. Um, and then another one that came to mind is another like driving movie with Ryan Gosling. Just
Drive.
Drive, yeah. I'd only seen it once, so I wasn't gonna like pick it because I'd
I've
only
only
seen it
seen it once
once.
too, but yeah, good movie.
But yeah, that one came to mind as well. Trying to think. I can't think. I mean, I'm sure if I thought harder, like I would be able to bring up like kind of movies you kind of forget about, like National Treasure or Rogue One or Endgame or stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, I mean, you can find a way to loophole a heist movie into something.
Yeah.
If they steal something, it's a heist movie.
Yep. Yep. So that rounds out our draft for heist movies. I'll quickly recap. So I went with Ocean's 11, Heat, Inception, National Treasure, and Avengers Endgame. Maybe a controversial pick, but whatever. We can let it slide. And then you went with, still mad I didn't get it, but you went with Fast Five, Baby Driver, Rogue One, the original Point Break, and the first Now You See Me.
Those are
Um,
two really good lists, I feel
I
like.
think both of those are great lists. I can tell that each of us kind of went into it with a different like plan and mindset,
Yeah,
but they're both still great lists. Got a lot of different movies here, but in the end, like when you break it down, like they are all considered a heist movie. So,
absolutely.
it was kind of fun thinking about this and Googling like movies and being like, oh, I didn't really think of it that way. But
Yeah,
uh,
even if you go through like the ones like how we rank our movies every year and just going through and being like, wait, this could be one or this could be
hmm,
one or this could be one. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, another good draft. And that will round out our episode.